Hello and welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving into the wonderful world of responsive design, how to make it 10 times easier, faster, and, dare I say, more enjoyable. Before we jump in, I have a tiny favor to ask. My goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers before the year runs out. So, if you could hit that subscribe button and make my dream come true, I promise you'll get more awesome videos like this one. Alright, enough with the small talk, let's get into it. In today's digital era, the internet has gone mobile, and there's no sign of it turning back. As of 2024, a whopping 60.67% of all website traffic comes from mobile devices. If your website isn't optimized for mobile, you're essentially turning away a massive audience. That's where the mobile-first approach comes in handy. Instead of designing your website for desktop first and then squeezing it down to fit a mobile screen like trying to shove a watermelon into a juice box, this strategy not only ensures a better user experience but also gives you a few key advantages. 1. Mobile-first designs tend to be lighter and faster. By focusing on what's essential for mobile users, you create pages that load quickly, even on slower connections. And let's be honest, mobile users are notoriously impatient. Faster loading times can make all the difference in keeping them engaged. Imagine someone waiting for your page to load while they're stuck in a slow Wi-Fi zone. It's like watching paint dry. Another benefit is accessibility. When you start with desktop, it's easy to overlook how your font sizes, color choices, or layout might affect users on smaller screens, especially those with visual or reading disabilities. But with a mobile-first design, you prioritize clarity and accessibility from the start, so every user, no matter their device, can navigate your site with ease. The numbers speak for themselves, with 92.3% of internet users on smartphones and 5 grams spreading like wildfire. Optimizing for mobile isn't just nice, it's essential. Now, let's talk layout, specifically CSS Grid. If you're used to using Display, Flex, that's cool, but let me introduce you to its cooler, smarter cousin, Display Grid. CSS Grid is a powerful layout system that makes designing responsive layouts a breeze. By setting Display Grid, you turn your container into a grid, letting you define rows and columns where your content fits neatly. And the best part? The auto-fit and min-max properties. These let your grid automatically adjust the number of columns based on the available space. Imagine the grid as your overachieving friend who's always ready to step up and fill in the gaps, literally. Next up, typography, because let's face it, no one wants their text to look like it was written on a sticky note and then enlarged to billboard size. Responsive typography is all about making sure your text is legible and looks great on every device. One of the best ways to do this is by using relative units like rem, em, or vw in your CSS. For example, Calc1 or em1vw combines a base size with a viewport unit, allowing the text to scale proportionally as the screen width changes. So, if you've been using pixels all the time, which makes your design about as flexible as a brick wall, it's time to switch to something more responsive. Alright, let's get real for a moment. We've all been there, you're on a tight deadline, and your design still isn't responsive. Maybe you're up against the clock, or perhaps your cat decided to nap on your keyboard just as you were about to dive into media queries. Making a design responsive manually is the ideal way to go, especially if you're learning the ropes. But sometimes you just need a little extra help, and that's where ChatGPT swoops in like a superhero in a coding cape. ChatGPT can quickly generate the CSS you need to make your design responsive. Just describe your layout, and in seconds, you've got a set of media queries and flexible units ready to implement. It's like having a coding buddy who never needs coffee breaks. Finally, let's talk about the secret weapon in responsive design, CSS Frameworks. Designing a responsive website from scratch can feel like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. You've got to juggle media queries, flexible grids, and fluid layouts, all while making sure everything looks great on every screen size. But what if you could take a shortcut? Enter CSS Frameworks, your not-so-secret weapon for building responsive websites faster than you can say media query. These pre-built collections of CSS and JavaScript are designed to take the headache out of responsive design. Of course, you could go the manual route, writing every line of CSS by hand. Well, perfect if you've got all the time in the world or just really love typing. But if you're on a tight deadline, or if your to-do list looks like a novel, CSS frameworks are your best friends. However, don't forget, while CSS frameworks are fantastic for speeding things up, understanding the underlying principles of responsive design is still crucial. Knowing how things work under the hood will help you customize your framework to fit your unique needs rather than just sticking to the defaults. So, if you're looking to save time, avoid repetitive tasks, or just need a little help getting started, CSS frameworks are the way to go. They give you a strong foundation so you can focus on what really matters, bringing your creative vision to life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you've already subscribed, you're awesome. Keep being amazing. Stay tuned for more content, and remember, every great website starts with a responsive design. Until next time, happy coding.